Good day, everyone. You are welcome back to the English Mastery Academy. Today we are talking about correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are also called pair conjunctions, and they are a set of conjunctions that are always used together. They correlate. And like coordinating conjunctions, they join words, phrases, or independent clauses of similar or equal importance and structure. If you have watched our video on coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions, the difference between coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions is that coordinating conjunctions join clauses of similar or equal importance, while subordinating conjunctions join clauses that do not have equal importance. So correlative conjunction is like coordinating conjunctions. But unlike coordinating conjunctions, they can only join two elements, no more. They can only join two elements. So these are the common coordinating conjunctions we'll be talking about, and some other ones in the later part of this video. Both goes with and, either or, just as, so, neither nor, not but, not only but also, whether or. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at functions of each correlative conjunctions. Both and. When we use both and when we want to emphasize on two elements that are true in a sentence, that's when we use what? And. Now, both and, we use it to put emphasis on two elements that are true. And in a situation where we can use correlative conjunction and, we can also use this both and, but it will not have the same emphatic effect. Let's take a look at these examples. This house is large and cozy. We use coordinating conjunction and, but compare it to this. Okay, this house is large and cozy, and this house is both large and cozy. So this other one is more preferable. She cleaned her room and washed the dishes. She both cleaned her room and washed the dishes. My mother and father are bookworms. Both my mother and father are bookworms. So in the examples above, the sentences that we use both and are more emphatic. But note that both and construction doesn't join independent clauses. It only joins words or phrases. The next one is either or. We use either or to give to present two options. Again, it emphasizes the fact that the choice is limited to only two. For example, I want to paint the house either white or green. You can't say I want to paint the house either white, green or blue. No, only two options. Let's either go swimming or go shopping. Don't say let's either go swimming, shopping or hunting. No, just two. Either your father will pick you up or you will get a ride home with a friend. So two options. Neither nor. Now we use neither nor to negate two options. For example, that is, you do not have to. The negative is that you do not have the two options. You understand? But either or means you have the two options. It presents the two options. I have neither the time nor the patience for silly TV programs. It means you don't have the time and I don't have the patience. Neither James nor Mike enjoys playing basketball. It means James and Mike both do not enjoy playing basketball. Neither does he understand nor does he care. It means he doesn't understand and he doesn't care. Note that when neither nor begins two independent clauses, we must negate inversion. That is, you reverse like the third example. Neither does he understand nor does he care. You don't say neither does he understand nor he does care. No, you are going to You are going to negate. You are going to swap, reverse the subject and auxiliary verb. Now, the next one is not and but, not but. We use not but to express a contradiction. That contradiction is negating the first option while emphasizing the second. For example, is not happy but thrilled. She did not like but loved her new earrings. Do you understand? So it's negating the first one and saying, okay, the second option, we are emphasizing it. That's what it means. Not just one friend turned up to help, but the entire team. Not only goes with but also. Please take note. These things are like collocations. They go together. You don't separate one. We use not only but also to emphasize an additional element in the sentence, especially when its occurrence seems contradictory or surprising in light of what we already know. For example, this house is not only large but also cozy. The speaker believes that that large houses are not usually cozy. That is when especially when its occurrence seems contradictory or surprising in light of what we already know. Because what the speaker believes is that large houses are not cozy. Cozy means, that warmth that you feel in a small house. But he said this house is not only large but also cozy. She not only cleaned her room, but she also washed the dishes. So the speaker is surprised that she did both chores. Not only is she an award-winning singer, but she also runs track. Note that when not only is used to introduce an independent clause, as in the third example, we must use negative inversion like we did in neither nor. You can see not only is she an award-winning singer, but she also runs what? Track. Is she. You don't say not only she is. No. Don't say not only she is. When but begins the second independent clause, the subject comes between it and what? Also. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Just as and what? Also. We use just as and so. Just as and so to indicate that two elements being joined are similar. Yes, they are similar. Usually, just as begins an independent clause and so is followed by the second independent clause. Just as I love films, so does my brother love sports. The same gravity as which you love films is the same as which your brother loves sports. Just as Americans love baseball, so do Europeans love soccer. Just as French is spoken in France, so is English spoken in England. However, it's also common, especially in written form, for this structure to occur without the inversion. Just as I love film, so my brother loves sports. Just as Americans love baseball, so Europeans love soccer. So take note of that. The next one is whether or. We use whether or to express doubts between two possible options. For example, I don't know whether the paint or whether the white paint or the green paint is better. Yes. They say whether has the similar meaning as if in this regard. I don't know if the white paint or the green paint is better. Is not sure whether he will be able to attend the game or not. We also use whether to indicate that something will happen no matter which choice is made. Whether we stay at home or eat a pizza, whether we stay at home and eat a pizza or we go out and watch a film, I'm sure we have a good time, whichever one we pick. I'm going to help you whether you like it or not. I'm very sure we've heard this expression before. Another type of correlative conjunctions include this: as many as. We use it for what? Comparison. For example, she bought as many books as her friend did. It shows equality. There were as many students as teachers in the hall. The next one is barely had. It is used to show that one action happened immediately. For example, barely had I sat down. When, please take note, barely had, it goes with what? It goes with when. It goes with when. So that's its own collocation. Barely had he finished eating when the light went out. Between and it is used to show relationship or choice involving two things or idea, two people, things or idea. The prize will be shared between you and your brother. There is a difference between telling the truth and being rude. Take note. No sooner had collocates with than. That's another correlative conjunction. For another time, it's a time expression that is saying one action happened immediately after another. And we use this more in what? More in a formal writing. No sooner had she entered the room than everyone stood up. No sooner had I closed my eyes than the alarm went off. The next type that relates with barely had, no sooner had, is scarcely had. And it goes with what? It goes with when. It's similar to, you can say, similar to no sooner had and barely had. Scarcely had the teachers finished speaking when the bell rang. Scarcely had we arrived when it started raining. So barely had, scarcely had, they all goes with when, while no sooner had goes with than. So one thing you should take note is that barely had, no sooner had, hardly, scarcely had, even hardly had goes with when. It expresses immediacy, and the structure usually follows the past perfect tense for the first action, followed by the simple past for the second action. This is what they are saying. Hardly had she entered the room than everyone stood up, past for the second. And also note that as many as is about equality, while between is showing relationship or choice. So we have finally come to the end of the lesson on correlative conjunctions. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment or like, and most especially subscribe to this wonderful YouTube platform so that you will enjoy more amazing lessons like this. Thank you and see you in the next lesson.